I'll be back from the break. How are you doing this Tuesday morning? It's called that 10th of December. Now, the markets on the Zabu platforms have already opened. So quickly run onto the platform. Dial *292# if you are yet to register an account with Zabu. It is high time you did so, because after registration with your NIN, in the next 24 hours, you'll be ready to kickstart off your investment journey. It is that simple, I will tell you. So if you are to kickstart off your journey, make sure that it will be an eminent one. Well, apparently with Zabu, they say my money, my future. Zabu is powered by TH-DEC East Africa. And TH-DEC East Africa says do something new today. Zabu is a platform that if you are an MTN subscriber, by dialing *292#, everything will be possible for you. Well, besides that as well, do remember the markets open at 8:15 a.m. Like I say, they've already opened, and they'll be closing at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. And remember, these markets are closed during public holidays and during the weekends. So entirely your investment journey is something that you should be proud of, and you should quickly kick start off with Zabu, powered by TH-DEC East Africa. And now let's head into sports business this morning. All right, now with sports business this morning, Uganda Cranes is set to withdraw from the CHAN finals, or I should say, for now, the Uganda Cranes withdrew from the Championship of African Nations, that is CHAN. Now, the FIFA president, Moses Magogo, did reveal that the Uganda Cranes have withdrawn from the forthcoming African Nations Championship finals due to financial constraints. Now, this was confirmed in a tweet he posted yesterday on December 12th, in which he stated that, like for the under 23, we are left with no further option but to withdraw the Uganda Cranes from the CHAN finals because the Ministry of Finance has not provided the funds as appropriated by Parliament. That is what the FIFA president did tweet yesterday. Now, he did apologize to the players and the staff, plus the team that qualified, that the Uganda Cranes were due to start preparations for the tournament on December 21st, after they had been placed in Group B alongside Democratic Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal. The Championship of African Nations, that is CHAN, is slated to be played in Algeria. Now, the CHAN is a competition for the national team players best in their own respective domestic leagues on the continent. So the only players that are allowed in this competition mainly are players who are supposed to be playing in those domestic leagues of their respective countries. But also, on the other hand, speaking of the financial constraints here and there, just recently the National Council of Sports was before the committee in Parliament, as also government did table that particular sports bill. Well, these are some of the things that it looks to tackle. The fact that we reach a time when the competition is 1 month away and our national team does not have the necessary funds, not only for preparation, but also cater for the funding of the players during the entire competition. Now, the question is, as Uganda Cranes intends to at least have its way into the World Cup by 2026 with an initiative that was already started, the hashtag Cranes Cup Ball, you want to ask yourself the question that what will happen in 2026 if such things reoccur in case we've qualified, hopefully. Now, what will occur once we do not have the funding? So these are some of the things that we clearly need to address before we reach the huge and bigger international stage. But especially the fact that this is an African tournament, this is a very huge blow to the entire football fraternity within Uganda. And the fact that we are representing the East African community in the competition, it is something that we should clearly work upon. And we do hope that the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development will be coming up with a backup plan for the Ugandans to bail them out, especially for the Uganda Cranes. All right, now besides that, as we move on, we look at the global value of sports media rights, which has hit $55 billion and is set to top $60 billion by 2024. if you to look at the value of sports media rights globally, it reached $55.7 billion. That is approximately 52.37 billion pounds this year, and will even break the $60 billion barrier by 2024 as high-profile deals, including the new National Football League and the Indian Premier League domestic rights contracts, take full effect. So, according to the findings of the sports business recently published by the Global Media Report, the combined worldwide media rights value of all sports properties has increased by 1.1% from $54.45 billion last year to $55.07 billion. Now, the global total is predicted to remain relatively flat in 2023, rising by just 0.3% to $55.24 billion before jumping by 10.2% to hit $60.9 billion in 2024. Now, the heavyweight domestic deals for the National Football League in the United States and the Indian Premier League in India, that is the Cricket League, will kick in next year, while agreements for the Paris 2024 Olympics contribute towards the marked jump in that very year. The new sports business report has adopted refined methodology to more accurately reflect how revenue is earned by biennial and quadrennial events, allocating their broadcast rights revenue to the specific year in which the event takes place instead of spreading the revenue evenly across a cycle. In early 2021, the National Football League signed a set of 5 landmark domestic rights deals with NBC Sports, Viacom CBS, Fox Sports, ESPN, and Amazon, running from 2023 to 2033, that are collectively worth over $110 billion. Now, the league is also closing in on a new rights contract for the National Football League Sunday Tickets, which is its long-running out-of-market and game package. Just so you remember, Amazon also did win the rights to show Champions League football in Germany for more 3 seasons to come. So that is something that you can easily see where the media rights are actually increasing. Now, at present, around 97% of the National Football League's media rights income stems from its domestic market, that is in the United States. Now, the new domestic rights deals solidify the United States' position as the most valuable sports rights market in the world at $24.85 billion in 2022, according to the new Global Media Report. And well, besides that, we sum up sports business by heading to Spain as we look at the Primera Liga. That is the first division of Premier League football in Spain. La Liga's TEC takes Sevilla's transfer tracker to the global market. Now, the TEC, a division of the organizing body of the 2 divisions of Spanish club football, has teamed up with Sevilla to make transfer tracker. This is a product developed by the top-tier club available to the global market. The technology and the legal consulting service aims to return millions in unpaid compensation payments to football clubs all around the club. So La Liga is ideally adapting this particular tech strategy to ensure that it reinforces it within the entire 2 divisions of football in Spain. And as we also summing up sports business, just to remind you that the World Cup does return today with the semi-finals. Argentina will be taking on Croatia. Remember, in 2018, when the 2 teams met in the group stages, Croatia humiliated Argentina by 3 goals to 1. And that is something that is most likely to happen if Argentina do not tie their boots so well tonight in the World Cup. Tomorrow will be another set of the semi-finals between Morocco and defending champions France. Just to remind you also that the 2 finalists of the 2018 edition are still in this World Cup, France and Croatia. But tonight, Argentina will be taking on Croatia to see which team will make it to which team will be the first to make it to the final that is slated to be played on the 18th day of December on Sunday. And that is it for sports business this morning. All right, now we cross over to the entertainment world to see what business is in there. And of course, our main man, Barija Andrew, is always here to ensure that we get up to speed with the world of entertainment. Andrew, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Joram. You know what really got my attention as you're speaking about the sports and business, about the fact of media rights. You know, looking at the growth of the media rights, looking at the finances, and when you look into the entertainment side of it, it's the opposite.
Okay.
You know, seeing reductions day by day, and of course we've been having arguments with you over the football and entertainment, which really fetches quite much more money as compared to that. But maybe you won the challenge.
Well, when you look at the fact that sports now in general, with the mere fact that sponsors are always looking out to the TV stations that are showing these particular sports activities. Now look at the NBA, for example. Not everyone in the US can make it to the different courts to watch these matches. So some people will definitely have to choose either to watch via NBC Sports, or watch via NBA, watch via Fox Sports and all that. Now, these particular stations also make it out by making sure that they tap into these marketing spaces by asking for lots of dollars and to ensure that at least if I'm going to advertise for you, you have to pay. For example, if you look at the ongoing World Cup, there's something I've come to realize with SuperSport, which is one of the broadcasters of the World Cup. If you've been able to actually notice this, as they've been able to track and get more revenue during this time. What they do is they do play adverts for you towards the match. Now within the match, it is actually some new thing that they're actually doing. That means that people are paying a lot of money for that space. Now during the match, when the match is actually starting, we do start off with the national anthems, of course. Now, of course, during that time, millions of people are watching. Now, once the anthems are done, they throw in an advert. So that means no one is going to change the channel because you're already heating up to watch the game. So that means for the marketing team at SuperSport is easily telling you, well, if you want that space, you have to pay this amount of money for only a minute or only 30 seconds. And there are over like 3 adverts that play at that time. So quick, you can easily see how people are making money because of the sports that is actually happening.
Oh, wow, that's quite very interesting. That's a very interesting side of the business in sports. And I believe sports, probably, you want that, regarding that. All right, now getting straight into the business and entertainment this morning. And of course, just to give you a brief highlight, what we should expect, we shall look at the Film Commission of Kenya eyeing to boost the production of the Kenyan film industry, and also looking down to Brad Pitt selling his movie company, of course estimated at hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars. And then we shall come down to, of course, White Lotus Season 2, which is really boosting the hotel business in Italy. And of course, that's something you could be really very interested to find out. Now, officially heading to the business and entertainment, we'll start with Kenya as we look at the Kenya Film Commission eyeing to boost local production. That's to boost the film sector, and that's within Kenya. And of course, looking up to here that the Kenya Film Commission continues supporting that's the local production towards creating a vibrant film sector. The chief executive, that's Timothy Owasa, said it is encouraging to see the progressive growth that's in Kenyan production and their popularity. You know, the major emphasis here is a way trying to boost definitely the Kenyan content in the way of embracing the storylines, the cultures of Kenya, to ensure that they really export them to the entire world to see what is really transpiring. And quite lots of money have been injected in by the different paid TV stations that's in Kenya. We are talking about a sum of 200 million, about 200 million Kenyan shillings injected into this by the different paid TV subscriptions regarding that. So there is quite a boost, much more money. Remember, the filming industry is one of those industries that are highly capital intensive. Yeah, you have to invest in quite lots of money to ensure that you really get that desired output that you intend out to the public, because people will always attach, despite the fact that you have a very nice storyline, there is need to be that aspect of the production. The picture has to be really on point. There is what we call the visual wear in a movie, whereby actually if you watch a movie, you feel like you're watching, they call it being cinematic. It's cinematic. I've been around quite lots of people. They say, the challenge we have within our country, when you're watching a movie, it feels like you're watching a play. it feels like you were behind the scenes. Now, this is what money does. You improve the production of the output that you're putting up there. Because I believe in Uganda, we are getting there. I'll say that regarding that. Improving the production quality, the lighting, the right cameras being on set. But if you're to compare actually the Kenyan movie industry, you'll realize that they have actually gone ahead in regarding to how they really put out their product. That's why I'm not surprised that the famous actor, that's Lupita Nyong'o, who featured in one of the best Hollywood series, was actually observed in there's a series called Sugar that used to play out on the MTV base, and there was the Kenyan version, but because of that quality, she was really they were able to recognize her talent, and she was able to feature on bigger screens regarding that. So you get to see how quality really attracts. Because some people, some people don't really mind about what you put out there regarding the stories, but they mind the quality. As you can look right there, you can look at those videos, which these directors are actually doing this. Now, part of this money will involve, of course, taking some of the production team out there to study production to ensure that they perfect their game to the top, and you get to see how really interesting that can be in that regard. So it's very, very, very important. The students should go study the productions of films, and they will be in position. They will be in position to deliver that quality that is required. Right there regarding that. Okay, now that's regarding the Kenya filming industry, as they are eyeing to boost, of course, the film industry into that country by injecting in about 200 million, that's Kenyan shillings. Okay, now we head straight to the Brad Pitt, and of course now we're heading to Hollywood, looking at the difference as Brad Pitt sells his movie company, that's Plan B, to a French company, and of course this is a way to merge content that's from the European zone and the American to create that. It's called Too Crazy. So Brad Pitt's production company, that's Plan B Entertainment, is selling a 60% stake, and that's majority stake, to the French media giant, and that's Media One, in a deal that values the film company that's behind the Moonlight and 12, and of course 12 Years a Slave. And of course, looking up to here, we see that in hundreds and millions of dollars, and that's its net worth, and of course something not below, and that's $500 million. So when you get to look through that, you get to realize how serious really this is regarding that. So Brad Pitt is in position to sell his company right there, and is making quite lots of money. This is quite a big media company right there. So you get to realize how really serious this. Okay, but we shall continue. Don't worry about that. It's a cold weather, and sometimes such is unavoidable. Of course, the investment in Plan B will be made via the newly created entity, that's the Media One. That's the US Media One US, which will hold the significant stakes in both Plan B and Florin. So you get to see what's really transpiring right there regarding that. So Brad Pitt, of course, selling his company right there. Okay, as we come to wind up this, we take a look at White Lotus Season 2, which was filmed at the Real Hotel, that's in Italy, and the series is boasting, and of course, the hotel business in Italy regarding that. So you get to realize that when you're shooting into this place, the government gives you a tax of 40% credit of 40%. So you get to understand. So this series has really attracted quite big business regarding the hotel business in Italy. As you can see right there, the beautiful island right there, and so many other tourists coming in, being attracted to come into the country, as to bring in the foreign revenue in this regard. So you get to see how the movies can really contribute in terms of boosting the business productivity. Well, we sum up the business and entertainment, of course, this morning regarding this as we take a look at how the movie business is helping out to boost other businesses, for example, the hotel industry. All right, back to you, Joram.
All right, and that is it for that particular. There's a report you've mentioned about the Kenyan movie industry.
Yeah.
And yesterday our discussion here was entirely looking at Kenya and how the African continent can have their movies on the top, grossing all those who are actually being viewed highly in cinemas.
Yeah.
And ideally, across the East African community region, I would wish to agree that Kenya's movie industry is way ahead of the entire regions.
Well, actually, I'll say that that's very true. You know, it has quite. They have invested in quite a lot as compared to storytelling and the production side of it.
Okay, and when you look at the fact that some of the Kenyan actors, by the way, we also have some Kenyan actors who are already featuring in Hollywood, others are featuring for Nollywood in Nigeria, and if you start featuring for Nollywood in Nigeria here, you can easily know that your talent is somewhere, as well as if you're featuring for the South Africans in there, and some of the Kenyans are already featuring in there. They also featured in some Ugandan movies.
Lupita Nyong'o, you know, set the trend regarding that, and she's featuring the Hollywood blockbusters, not just featuring many movies.
Yes, and she's actually setting a trend for most of the other African actors there.
Very
and you can easily mention some of those particular African actors who are already now making their move in there. We have also a Ugandan born here, that is Daniel Kaluuya, who's already in there as well. So you can easily see that quite a number of African actors or of African origin are already hitting Hollywood cinemas and making some good money out of that.
Very, and we anticipate quite more of this, but still it will come back to the filming, of course, those that are responsible for the filming industry in those nations to really boost such activities, and it calls for more investment. That's what I believe in that regard, and also really teaching, training our, the movie directors out there how to really script the right, the right stories that really bring out the authenticity of the stories that we put out there.
And easily, when you look at this, according to some of the statistics on the African continent, Kenya being ranked among the top 3 here, being ranked 3rd. So that is something that you could look at and see how the industry is transitioning within the African continent.
Exactly.
That's a huge win for the African continent and the East African community. And many thanks, Andrew, for that particular one this morning in regards to the entertainment business. And surely we shall be waiting for more tomorrow as well. And Barija Andrew will be giving us more of the discussions here on Smart 24 TV in the SMB on ground. Stick around for more updates regarding business matters. After the break, we shall be having the Business Insight. Good morning.